Happy Easter and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer League. We're in the playoffs. This is Duality. I am Adirondack Rick. She is Clear Mouse. What's up? Happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter, Rick. I am pretty excited. A very nice holiday bunny treat. And of course, the race is going on as well. Hello, Rick. How's it going?
Yeah, we got plenty of races going on today, actually. So if you love Link to the Past Randomizer today, we've got what, 3 races today?
Oh yeah, 3 races. Okay, that's a lot of races. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
All
I
right,
actually
so
didn't quite check the channel yet, but yes,
so this is not the first match between this team, correct?
correct. This is actually game two. Game one was played yesterday. Not quite the same lineup. This is a three-person team versus another three-person team, and the mode was co-op cross keys. Zelga was, of course, the common person for the Sticky Priest, and Skip Brush was the common person for Team Hime. But then we ended up getting some sub-ins. Shady taking Marty's place and 2C taking Braves' place in co-op duality. Sticky
So who
Priest did
won
take
that
game
race?
one. Yeah, Sticky Priest took game one. It was a quite interesting seat, and I think this is where the Sticky Priest, Shady, Zelga, and Marty are hoping to close out the series. Otherwise, 2C and Skip Rush and Bravus will have a shot at continuing on the playoffs in game three.
Yeah, we'll get to see how that winds up going as we're underway, starting different spots. So duality, for those of you who haven't seen it, the runners here have different goals. 2 of the runners are going to be doing the Crystal Dungeons, 5 of them, and the other 2 are going to be doing your 3 pendants to pull the pedestal where there is a Triforce.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. Do you happen to remember how many crystals we need to get into GT? Rick, is it zero? Is it
1.
one?
It
One? Okay.
is 1. So
Okay.
as soon as you have Dark Death Mountain access and a crystal in your pocket, it's a very good idea to head up to, oh nice, 10 bombs there at the start and also a sword. So doing the escape portion here is going to be no problem for Shady and Skip, who are going to be doing that part of the
hmm
communication. So yeah, if you do get access to GT, you want to be able to take advantage of it, because with it being a lower crystal entry means that there's no junk fill rules attached to it. So it's not like your casual boots, your opens, your standards, where there's only a couple, maybe a potential of a couple quality items. In GT, there could be a lot of items you need for your go mode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You definitely see a lot of people, rushing GT, as you said, because GT now with 22 items, I guess, in the basement available to you. That is quite a lot. Oh, but you know what we're finding here in the front of Escape? We found a glove.
Yeah, nice early glove right there is very helpful. That will now make it less of a question mark whether or not they're going to go all the way to the back of Escape, because now you can just go ahead, start at the Sanctuary, and check those back 3 immediately. Plus, we have not seen... Well, I mean, obviously with the keys being mixed up, that you still have the question mark of whether when that's going to get into Logic. But the thing with that glove location is it's immediately in Logic Spear 1.
Yeah, that's definitely very true. I'm loving the sync, by the way, between Shady and Skip Rush and Zelga and Susie. I know they took the same routes, but it's
It
very it's just like it's almost like a mirror on the diagonal axes.
clear mouse. We should have had them better arranged
I
here. We
know,
should have
I know, I
communicated it to the
know.
runners better that 2C needed to do what Shady was doing and Skip was doing what Zelda's
Exactly,
doing.
exactly. All right, we're getting a good amount of money here down in the well. Shady needs to survive this ball and chain guard.
All right, so we're going to have 2 different theories here. There's going to be a little bit of a breakup. We do find the bow, by the way, in the well. So Shady's going to go back to Dark Cross, see what is there out of Logic, whereas Skip is going to leave that behind for the time being. Because you know with the glove there, your teammate is going to have to go there. By the way, we saw a flute as well, so get your
Yeah, a
07
lot of
from
good,
chat.
Yeah, a lot of goodies here in Kakariko, and I know that early game for co-op especially, you really, we did see certainly both members of the team trying to split up as much as they can, right? One went to on-call in the castle, and one went to Kakariko. Honestly, I'm seeing probably that. Either one, they're just gonna trade spots with each other because they're just such good items, right? You got the flute in Kakariko, you got the glove in Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
The other person definitely really wants those.
Yeah, you're going to definitely need it. And a sword upgrade
And a
for
sword
Shady Force
in
and
Dark
Dark
Cross.
Cross. So that pays off dividends right there for Shady Force. Skip's going to get unfortunate news in a little while from 2C that's there and be like, oh, I should have gotten that while I was there. You know what
Yeah.
what upsets me about this, Clear Mouse?
What's that, Rick?
What is today?
Today's Easter Sunday.
Yes, where are the bunnies?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
None of these runners are playing as the Super Bunny.
We could have convinced Shady, I bet, to play as a bunny.
But instead, he's playing as a bug.
As a bee, yes. The bees are popular during springtime, maybe. That's about as best as I'm gonna get.
Well, I'm gonna go to your bottom left and call objection to all of this.
Yes, I agree. By the way, we did find half magic in the library, which is boots locked. Not quite sure if anybody will actually go after that. It could be a good early safety, could be good late safety.
Oh, you want that? You want that? And you see
yeah,
Tuesday running away from the duck at that point in time.
He's trying to run.
Yeah, you want that big key because it could very well be a very important big key, or as you know very well, Clear Mouse, there are two big keys out there that you go when you get the skull or the swamp big key.
Yeah, but at this point though, any big key this early is going to be something that will be appreciated, right? Because even if we get the skull big key, we can actually go check it early. But what is this big key? This is a big key to turn a rock. Okay. I was low-key thinking it might be Eastern Palace, because then Zelga will have no objections to go to Eastern. But yes, we do see some divergence. 2C going over desert, scouting the desert ledge, getting some very important knowledge that the Moon Pearl is just sitting there.
Yeah, so we have ourselves an early flute. We either need the 2 gloves plus a mirror or the book to get that Moon Pearl. More likely we're gonna get the book.
Right, I was thinking that too, but then again, maybe fortune will smile upon us and we'll actually end up just getting the other glove, and of course the mirror. The mirror is a very, very powerful item in really any mode, and you'll probably end up using it anyway, even if it's not necessarily like logically required for anything.
But it's definitely not as important as it was in the mode that we played the other day on Thursday when they did co-op cross keys, because obviously the mirror is very, very important there. That is one of those items that you shout out to your partner, get now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Finish what you're doing immediately, get it then. Here mirror looks like it could be important based on that Moon Pearl location, but we've yet to see. And mirror doesn't unlock as much here in duality as it would in cross keys.
Right, yeah. Across keys, you're crossing worlds. Here,
Let's be a little careful over here, Skip. Down to 1 heart. We are gonna get in though. Thankfully, those bush crabs stayed away.
The frog is brave. Ooh, got a skull with small key. Very helpful in Ice Rod Cave. Okay, not quite the book or mirror or glove that we're kind of looking for right now. But with the flute, we do have some limited mountain access. We can go up to Speck Rock inside and get the item. We can take a peek at Speck Rock Peak.
I can see somebody. 2C is saving out of there, so Team Hime is not going to find out about that other sword still for a little bit longer.
Okay. All right. Well, looks like we have some Jerky7 in chat pointed out that we actually did find the mirror in Mini Molten. Okay, so we are one step closer to getting that pearl, Rick.
So where did that mirror turn out to be?
It was a mini Moldorm cave, let's point it out.
Okay, so Shady Force is about to get that information right over here. Of
Right.
course, Team Sticky Priest do not know of the Moon Pearl being on that desert ledge, but you know, when you get
Exactly.
that mitts, that is going to be one of the first checks for you, whoever has that combination.
Yeah, it actually looks like right. We actually have a small key Hera found in the back of Saha, and it looks like Skip Frost will be going over to Eastern Palace, being representing the Eastern Dippers this season, as contrasted to the Eastern Skippers from last season. It's a dark time, maybe season before that.
What made it a dark time though?
It was a dark time. We don't talk about the times when Zelga, Shady, and Marty were not named. The spoilers. Unfortunately, this season
Mouse?
there was no spoiling. Yes,
There's
Rick?
only 3 dark rooms in Eastern. It's not a dark time.
Okay, you're right. And we probably won't even see Frosh even going into some of those dark rooms, right? Well, maybe one of them, maybe two.
Which one?
Dark Square Pocky, and maybe on his way over to Eastern Palace Big Key Chest. We'll see.
I mean, technically that's 2 rooms, but
That's
I'm not gonna sit there and completely correct you on everything I hear. All right, so it looks like Shady's going to be heading over towards Eastern, and this is where Zulga's going to get that information about the Moon Pearl and transmit that over to Shady.
Yeah,
So they know that they
just-
are one component away, whether it be a book or the mitts.
right.
We got our first
exactly.
mountain climb, by the way.
Yeah,
because-
this makes a lot of sense.
Because once we got that mirror, we all had the hair up big. So that is a beatable dungeon.
Right, exactly. Oh, I didn't even realize we had the Hera Big Key as well, and we have a small key. We don't have a fire source, so we can't actually do the basement. We have had runners before go into the basement without having a fire source, only thinking that they only need the small key. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen here. It's a 2C.
Give me just
Money as
I had
well.
to fix something. So you go ahead and talk while I fix things.
Okay, no problem. I am known for being able to talk. Let us not talk
You
about the
say.
contents. Alright, 2C is now 300 rupees richer. Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see something good here in Tower of Hera. We can do everything logically and functionally. We have the big key to get up to the top. We have a sword in order to go beat Molnorm. And we can be able to get everything out of this dungeon except for the basement item. But the basement I've never screwed everybody over for that thing, so... Yeah, I mean, I see. And this is, again, makes sense. For multiple reasons, Zelga and 2C, in coordination, not intentionally, of course, to split up and go towards the mountain versus Shady and Skip Frosh going into Eastern Palace. Again, we have some very nice syncing going on. I was gonna say, of all people to go into Eastern Palace without the big key and the bow, you can just tell how much Shady is a team player. Taking some real sacrifices for Zelga, so Zelga can continue to play the game without enduring any mental damage.
I missed all that. What was that about?
I was just saying Shady was the one who's taking one for the team, and not forcing Zelga to sacrifice himself to going into Eastern Palace without the big key and the bow.
Did we find anything in this Eastern?
We have not found anything in this Eastern so far.
Have we found anything in this Hera?
No, we have also not found anything. Oh, well, excuse me. We found the Thieves' Town compass.
Whoa! We
yes.
are so close to go mode. Woo,
yes.
woo. By the way, 2C is going to have a rougher fight against this Moldorm, only because for Zelga, because of that Master Sword, just 2
True.
spins and it's dead, versus the 6 and have to play the last stage here. Although we do use the cape to its advantage.
Yeah. Very, very well done, and very pragmatic on 2C side. So, oh, we get the boots! Oh, what a smart decision. Good job, 2C. You mentioned the mirror as one of those items where it's like, stop what you're doing, let's go get the boots right now. The mirror, let's go get the boots right now. I would very much like to go have those boots so we can run.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those cases where Shady We'll be told about that as soon as Zelga is done. Unfortunately, it looks like there still will be a little bit of a time difference where Shady is going to be going on to something else. And before Zelga gets the information out, but it's not going to be too bad. We do find ourselves a small key here. I don't know if Zelga looked at it, but okay, there's the Hyrule Castle Small. So
Nice Hyrule Castle Small.
that gives us nothing since we found everything in there already.
All right. Well, these boots do open up, of course, not only gives us access to the speed and the playableness we all want.
Chad's right, it's 3 spins, not 2, but still, it's a much easier fight.
Yeah, we can still see Zelga picking up those boots for Shady, on behalf of himself, of course, and Shady. But we're gonna get some boot slots checks now. I would imagine maybe we'll find a hammer, potentially. We could also find another glove.
Instead, we find the Cane of Burna.
That is less useful immediately. However, that being said, I'm looking at all these screens, and we don't have a lot of health.
Going back to what you just mentioned here, Clear Mouse, here's Shady going back up to 1. You were just told that the boots are here, you want them ASAP.
Oh, yeah.
So here's Shady going to go do that. Because you're going to want those boots regardless if you're the pendant player or if you are the 5 crystals player.
Yeah, you mentioned in this case that we need 1 crystal to get into GT, right? 1 crystal, regardless of where it comes from, is going to be super useful for an early investment.
Yeah, that too. That's one thing we're going to be seeing here. We do have, I think, 1 more item that is in logic to us, and 2C is going to find out what that is shortly with a trip to Zora.
Yeah, looks like it. We have one of the nice other benefits of our red shoes. Being able to walk on blue water makes things go significantly faster. There's our hammer, which is actually flippers locked. Rick, where are our flippers?
On Zora, it's vanilla.
Okay,
It's going to cost us 500
makes
rupees.
sense.
But then the next question becomes, what are we supposed to do after this?
Yeah. How are we gonna get this pearl?
Yeah.
Zelga actually spending the time to get his half magic off of library. Interesting investment here.
There's your mitts.
Oh, it's our mitts. Okay. So we were not meant to get this hammer anytime soon. However, due to the power of, again, the boots, it's good for us.
Yeah, so Zelga's going to do the same thing coming up here, set up the water walk and dash over to Zora. Thankfully, money has been very plentiful this seed because we've seen some seeds in various modes where money is not necessarily that easy to get, and as such, you're still fighting to get to your 500 at this position.
Yeah, and one of the roughest things that people have to go do for farm money when you don't have a glove and you're stuck in Light World is I don't know where you're supposed to go find money. I guess Blind's Hut maybe for 30 rupees. But yeah, we definitely see some pretty. It can be pretty rough. So we're very thankful in order to have some extra cash here.
So here comes the Moon Pearl for 2C. We do find out that it is ether to get into. It is ether to get into Misery Mire. So vanilla.
Okay. Yeah. And right now we don't have any knowledge about what our pendants and crystals are quite yet. The maps are shuffled, so we're gonna have to find out either the old-fashioned way of beating the dungeon or getting a map somewhere, doing a map check. We did find Quake, by the way, at the king under the bridge. Not sure if that's actually necessary, needed or not, because we don't know what Turtle Rock is. Maybe we'll never have to go into Turtle Rock either.
All right, so 2C heading into Desert Palace, which will give us some new checks. Skip's going to go get those mitts right now. So you see Shady. This heading over to the first check of Agate Tower. This is a borrowing time play.
Yeah,
this is a new check. This is a new check, but what this is it's buying Zelga time to relay what's going on with Zora.
Oh, dude, did you see that, by the way? On 2C side, 2C's doing the right side of desert, and he found a Castle Tower key. as Shady has just explored the first chest of Castle Tower.
Yep. Okay. So at this point, as Shady gets over to the flute, that was a little more time being bought, and now knows that the bits are there. So Shady now knows he's got a flute to 8. All of this is just part of that communication here between these runners.
Yeah, no, it's really great to see. Yeah, it's certainly, and for all of Kana Samaria in Meyer Shed. Okay, that's pretty nice.
By the way, you know what is out of logic for us at this point, but is accessible?
Is it Ice Palace?
No, I wasn't even thinking Ice Palace because how are you gonna get past the first freeze-war?
Good point, good point. We might be missing a fire rod of sorts.
I was thinking because we all have one crystal, and we have the mitts plus hammer and mirror.
Oh my gosh.
GT's accessible. It's out of logic because we don't have
the
flippers.
Going? Yeah.
It's out of logic because we don't have the flippers, but as soon as we get those flippers, that check at GT is open.
And we have the Kana Samaria to do some of Brightside. I would be super tempted to try and maybe suss out a lamp or a fire rod or some sort of fire source in order to get to right side. But yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for going up there and seeing what we can get.
Right. It's obviously out of logic at this point in time, but it is something that you might want to put at the front of your mind as we make our way through this seed. We find, oh gosh, there's your lamp.
Hey, there's our lamp. All right. Well, I'm all for this. There's a Desert Palace Big Key, by the way. I'm also all for beating Lamos at this point.
Are you?
Well, we do have the correct weaponry, a bow. Alright, 2C is gonna give us a check to the Big Bomb Shop, Desert Palace, and Tower Pair. Alright, we already know Hera was a crystal. We saw that earlier. Happens to be in this case a 5/6 crystal, so Pyramid Fairy could potentially be on the horizon.
All right, so Shady Force is going to get that and now has the news about the Kana Samaria being out there. This really, to me, is where you will see these teams excel. Who's doing the left side there, the Village of Outcasts, Skull Woods area, and who's doing the Hype Cave over to Cave 45. This is part of the communication game between these runners.
Yeah, oh yeah. And this is league playoffs, so we've had 7 regular weeks of playing as a team, so certainly got a little bit more practice, being a little bit more polished, but co-op and communication is extremely underrated. It will never be easy. Just hopefully get some more experience. But yeah, you can definitely see these guys, their practice really is shining through in this case.
Right. Nice first dig, Ice Palace.
Yeah, one dig, yes.
One dig and I'm out the door.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, right, for co-op, right, it's really important, especially when we're first getting into light world, dark world areas, that you try and put, you try and get as much coverage as you can separately, just so in this case you can get some more information.
Yeah, and that's the part of the reason why there's the Swamp Small in the pinball room.
Nice,
that's the reason why it's so important to point out what Shady Force was doing with that check over to the first chest of Agate Tower. It was not necessarily because I don't want to trail Zelga. So I'm going to do something, give you some new information, and maybe that second chest is going to be required. We'll find out when the other person gets there with the key. But it's a case where you want to not be on top of your partner. The flippers, okay, so that's how we were supposed to get the hammer.
That's hilarious. Oh wow, the flippers are myth locks. Okay, so you were supposed to go to Zora to go buy your myths, and then turn the
Get
smith.
Your moon pearl.
And yeah, right. Get your pearl, and then turn the smith for your flippers to go back to Waterfall Ferry.
All right, we get ourselves a GT small, which again is not insignificant here because the 22 items in the basement, some of them do have key requirements.
Oh yeah, and the fact that now everything is in logic, right? As you mentioned, to go up to GT, we can pretty much just get everything in GT basement. It's a lot of checks, pretty dense. It could actually be a very good event. Plus, we haven't been to the mountain yet at all. I mean, Paradox, Super Bunny, Hookshot Cave. So There could be some pretty nice goodies up there.
Yeah, I think part of that came down to we want to get that repairing of the logic there to figure out how we're supposed to have the hammer first or have the hook shot show up. And in this case, the flipper showed up for Team Hime. It's going to show up soon enough here for Zelga and Shady.
Oh, by the way, so speaking of being in a dungeon, Shady is exploring the front floor of Thieves Town. I did catch earlier that we have a pendant Skull Woods. That is one of our 3 pendants for somebody on the team to go and retrieve at some point.
Yeah, and you also notice if you look at Skip Frosh's tracker, apparently we're unsure of the dungeon prizes at this point. They just put everything as crystals, so it's not fully certain. But our 5-6, Desert and Hera.
Yeah, those are usually very, very good. And everybody at this point certainly has the Hera crystal. They may or may not be doing Pyramid Fairy, but you know that's 1 crystal is always easy for everybody. And then of course the Crystal Runner already has now 1 crystal to their name.
Yep. So Zelga is going to bypass that logic chain here. There's a fire rod on Floating Island.
All right, that is a good investment then for, or good discovery for Zelga.
So we're still not at that point, in my opinion, where you start playing the game of who is doing your pendants, who is doing your 5 crystals. Because we don't have all the information yet.
Right. Yeah, it's really difficult to kind of commit. And for what it's worth, I have heard, certainly from previous matches, that teams have pivoted multiple times throughout the course of the sea. It's like, okay, I'm going to do the pendants. Oh, this is actually, no, you're actually going to do the pendants. I'm going to go do the crystals. Yeah. I mean, and it's happened. You don't have to make a decision and commit all the time.
Well, you can't make that decision until you find out all of your information.
Right.
Like, right now, all we know is one of our pendants, which is Skull Woods. We need to know a lot more than that. We need to know what our other 2 pendants are going to be before we can even start to come to who is doing what. Because it changes what your Go Mode Index is going to be.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm so proud of these guys. Zelga just picked up his 4th heart container.
Woo!
At 25
we've been low hearts all seed.
Yeah.
All right, we got a Skullwood Small. There's Shady giving information to Zelga about the repairing of the logic. There's Bombos. So now, Miss Mouse, that Ice Palace you were mentioning earlier is a little bit more into possibilities.
Yeah, I'm all for diving into Ice Palace as fast as possible. Maybe. Ideally, I would like to find Desert Palace key. Well, you mentioned right now that we don't have complete information, right? Which one's a pendant, which one's a crystal. It would be nice to be able to go into a dungeon, complete it, find out some information, but not have to take as much time investment, right? And dungeons like Hera, like Desert, they're relatively short, so it's not going to be too big of a deal, even if one person ends up doing it and then ultimately ends up not using it. Ice Palace, I think it's maybe okay, but it is a longer dungeon. Yeah, but this really does look like 2C is going to be the mountain representative for Team Hime, and he'll end up getting.
We're staying with the diagonals here, Mouse.
Yeah, apparently.
It's just diagonals all the way. Ether on the bonkable chest.
All right, we have all 3 medallions. Very interesting. Yeah, initially looks like Zelga maybe probably scouted Turtle Rock entrance when I wasn't looking. It is Quake, so...
Vanilla. Heavy vanilla. So, one other thing here. I think Zelga may have been thinking about maybe doing a hover, but then just had that little bit of a butcher there with the pots and had decided, no, I've got a whole bunch of other things that I can do at this point in time. One thing included... Okay, so we are going to go into Turtle Rock early. I was wondering if, by the way, 3/4 of our players have the silvers now. I didn't notice where that's.
I also didn't notice we had silvers. so early. I'm also noticing that Frosh is going into Swamp Palace without a hookshot. Ravis would be proud.
Yeah, this is you found that skull. You found that swamp small in the pinball room. How much does 2C need to prioritize this? All right, so
Zelda, by the way,
Zelda,
is going into. Are we just beating Turtle Rock here?
Well, we have 3 keys.
Yeah.
It is
Oh
possible.
my gosh. I did not even realize that this was okay, or this was yeah, the 3rd key is a Super Bunny. So 2C is gonna. Oh, where's the fire? Where's the ice? Does he have the ice rod?
Yeah.
I forgot what the ice rod was.
Oh, you're talking 2C.
Yeah, because Zelda has everything to beat Turtle Rock here.
Yeah.
And unless, well, so 2C I did notice he used manually tracking, so maybe he just didn't click on the ice rod. Certainly his partner has it, so they know where it is.
Zelda, by the way, has defeated the final boss. That is realizing that you're doing this room in Turtle Rock without the hookshot.
This is why they're in the playoffs. Oh, 2C also needs Quake. Good point. I did not think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, neither of the runners have gone over to the man under the bridge to find out that was where the Quake is. We just got a map check from Zelga. And ice is a crystal. We do know ice is a crystal.
Okay. Alright, so no new knowledge about which ones are the pendants yet, other than Skull Woods, which also turns out apparently it's green pendant as well, so there's very little new information.
Right, because we already found that information from Sahaswala. Alright, GT coming up here for 2C.
Yeah, so this is also probably Shady taking his time after being relayed the information about all the goodies here in the mountain. In particular, that fire rod.
Fire rod, the Turtle Rock big key, or not the Turtle Rock, the Thieves Town big key. The ether to get you into Misery Mire. There's the map to Misery Mire. And a small key to Misery Mire.
Okay. Oh, 2C was so close to opening the middle door. He does have 2 keys. You probably can spare that key. But you're not climbing today, so...
Yeah, because you're never getting the GT big.
Exactly. We're gonna do tile room first. 2C does have the fire rod. No need to sequence break out anything, but yeah, we are able to get everything out. Not everything. 2C can sequence break the left side if he chooses to bomb jump over everything, because we don't have hookshot right now.
So one of the biggest things that is interesting to me, Mouse, is the fact that Team Hime still on Fighter Sword, and this is because neither of them scouted Dark Cross.
That's right. Yeah, and I don't know at this point if they're willing to go back to Dark Cross. I mean, so they have not been at Tower yet, for what it's worth, so they do have another opportunity to go into Dark Cross, but maybe they just have better things they want to go do at this point.
Yeah, at some point in time, you got to start planning on doing your dungeons. So we are going to see Shady pick up the ether. We saw Shady immediately nope out of Turtle Rock after getting the big key to Thieves Town. We have the big key to Eastern in Compass Room of GT.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, Frosh was almost gonna die on left side swamp. I don't know if we found anything here.
Nothing.
Okay.
A pod small or 2, but not enough that it's like, wow, congratulations.
Yeah, that's right.
You can do it now. You're hoping to find the hook shot there. You really are hoping to find the hook shot.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, this was not a seed where it wanted to let you do that. All right, so Shady's going to be the GT scouter, which then will get Zelga the information about the Eastern Big by the time Zelga gets out of this Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, Zelga's doing certainly very, very well done job of getting through Turtle Rock so far. On 5 hearts, not the easiest thing to do in a basically endgame dungeon, but this is a veteran spoiler cross keys, whatever runner you want to tell him, call him. But yeah, we're almost to the ball.
I'd like to point this information out. We just found out. I think we just found out. Just trying to get confirmation here. Yeah, we just found out that Agate Tower completion is going to be hookshot blocked.
Did we find the second Castle Tower key in?
No, we found the
Room?
Desert Small.
Oh,
In the Apples room.
That's hilarious. Did we scout Lumberjack out of curiosity? Did anybody see that early?
If we
Or
did,
late?
I was not paying
I also did not.
attention.
Yeah, I missed it, but I don't think anybody has scouted it yet because one person went to CAC and one person went to Uncle.
Alright.
Alright, this is more, by the way. Yeah. Ooh, ooh.
Getting
This
through
is
the
why we
Trinex
picked up
fight.
This is why we picked up half magic. Very prudent decision.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, we should have enough time. Zelda should get the information before he leaves this mountain of the Eastern Big Bang over here, because he's about to get that information right now.
Right.
Yeah, just as he's exploding, he'll get the information about the Eastern Big, so he knows he'll beeline over here to get that.
Beeline. I see what you did there, Rick. Shady
Not
as a bee.
intentionally, but it works. All right, we get the Ice Big over behind the Mimics in Pod.
Okay. That's actually a really nice find for Frosh because he doesn't have the bombos or fire rod for that matter, but that is something that's very accessible. And of course, the big key is were you saying something about Skullwood's big key after we just gone over to Skullwood's already?
No, I said nothing about it.
I'm sure I'm just imagining things. Yeah.
You're imagining things.
It's all the eggs today. Don't overdose on eggs. PSA. They're not only, of course, dangerous, but they're also pretty expensive these days. So.
Yeah, they are. It's the chocolate bunnies.
Yes, exactly. All right, nothing behind Ice Armos for 2C. And of course also for Shady. He just hasn't gotten over there yet.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate for 2C, but because really, honestly, you'd like to find some clues, further clues than what we just saw on where this hookshot cannot be. We know it cannot be beyond or requiring you to complete Castle Tower to get to, but it very well could be in that second chest if the other Castle Tower key is accessible somewhere. We know it cannot be at the big key chest, the Harmless Hellway, the maze, or on Helmasar. More information. Meyer is a pendant, by the way.
Okay.
Pod is a crystal. Swamp's a crystal. So we are getting a little more information to what our goal is. So I think either Thieves Town or Eastern is the other pendant.
Okay, so we have both of the big keys. By we, I mean Shady and Zelga have the Thieves Town big key. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Never mind. All right, so Zelga at this point, Shady hasn't given any major information about that left side, is going to go to do Spike Chest, which is something that 2C did not do. So I think at this point, we're starting to morph our way into who is doing what.
Yeah, it certainly does look like with 2 crystals already investable, Tempered Sword and Spike Cave.
Now that's painful here for Team Hime because now that's 2 swords that they're missing out on.
I know, that's exactly what I was thinking too. It was like, well, where's this other sports sword that there could be available for? But yeah, they've already skipped on 2 of them, and so the process of getting tempered seems a little bit less optimistic at this point.
Yeah. And it's just amazing how the one decision to not do Dark Cross early on is snowballing for these 2 over here on your right.
All right, Zelda looks like he has farmed a little bit of magic from the tree.
Ice
And
Palace, yep.
yeah, we're going in. We know where the flippers are. By we I mean Shady has relayed information to Zelda, and rather than getting the flippers, just spending the time in order to turn in the Smith, we're just gonna fake flipper in. Zelda, being the crystal runner, may not even have to do Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I think that decision for Zelda has already been made based on the fact that this is now going to be crystal number 3 for Zelda. So you may not necessarily know what your crystal and... Okay, so Shady does not have enough magic. Well, it doesn't have a protector. Well, it has the cape, but doesn't have a lot of magic. So getting that tempered sword is just going to be unfortunate for Shady. But it looks like they've made their determination that Zelda's going to be their crystal runner, and Shady needs to figure out what the remaining pendants are. And for what we know, by the way, we could very well be in go mode for the Sticky Priests.
Oh, that's actually a good point. Right. We don't know what Thieves Town is. I think if you're especially rooting for Team Hime, you want Thieves Town to be a crystal, and you want Eastern to be the pendant, so they at least have access to it.
Well, no.
But
no matter what, Shady's going to have all 3 pendants. We already got Thieves Town big. We already got the Eastern big. And we know, and they know that Meyer is the other pendant because you can see the pendant on Zelda's tracker. So they know who's got what pendants are going to be needed. Just which one is Eastern or Thieves Town is going to be the question mark here.
Right. I'm saying for 2C and Skip Rush, right? They don't have the Thieves Town big from the front of Turtle Rock because neither of them have Quick Medallion because they haven't gotten it yet. Right. So I'm hoping that Eastern's the pendant for them because they can actually just go do it, right? They don't have to go back up to the mountain again and then come down. Yeah, but for Shady and Zelda, they're in a very excellent position. There's a Pot Big and Ice Palace too. That's gonna be probably Zelda's next destination with 2 keys.
Really? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. No, Sticky Priests are in go mode.
Oh, actually...
I think they are in go mode.
Yeah, so Zelda can beat Ice. That'll be crystal number 3 for him. You can
beat Pod because you already had the big key to that. You're just not going to care about any of the other items that are in that dungeon. And then whether it is Thieves Town or Eastern, you can beat that. So there's 5. So Team Sticky Priest are in go mode.
This is amazing. Yeah, I think they realize that too. Probably. I mean, they're certainly talking amongst themselves. But this was very sudden. And yeah, which do you think is going to be the pendant, Rick? And the crystal? Is it just a coin flip?
I think it's gonna be Eastern. I think Eastern's gonna be your pendant.
Alright, well we just picked up the Eastern map for what it's worth on 2C side. I don't know if he'll do a map check for us. This is probably the only opportunity we'll end up seeing whether or not what prize Eastern is. Yeah, and at this point, especially for Shady, if he's the designated pendant retriever, that tempered sword won't really do him much good. Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you're not beating Ganon.
Exactly.
Who's Zelda? There we go. Need to be a little careful as Cold Stare started to get away, but we did solve that. Thieves Town small. Nice, cute game. Very cute.
Well, 2C finishing up the rest of Pendant Mire. Get a full quick place. Yeah, I think at this point, I don't know if we're going to see that hook shot, honestly. At this point.
Yeah, it's not going to be required. I mean, we probably might see it through just traveling through, but...
Yeah, and especially for 2C and Frosh, they are, as you mentioned before, right, they're still down at this point 2 swords versus Shady and Zelda. They definitely need at least one of them needs one more, but they don't have any knowledge of where that one more sword is, and so they're definitely still going to be looking for stuff, even if they have all the items.
Yeah, and also the other thing, Mouse, the other big thing here, We do see 2C electing to be the pendant retriever, and it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
Skip being your crystal. But taking a death, unfortunately, that is very painful for Skip. Taking the death right in Spike Cave, which would have given them knowledge about a sword.
Yeah. Oh no. Did he end up using the potion? Is that what happened? We used the potion and then we didn't have enough magic to survive the cave? Is that what happened?
I didn't even see. I just saw Skip spinning around in a circle, which is unfortunate. So yeah, this really is turning into the case of who has the swords and who doesn't. Shady's gonna go ahead and pick up the half magic just in case. Although at this point, well, actually, they don't know about desert, so they actually are not in go mode yet. I take that back. The Sticky Priests don't know about desert.
Oh. I did also forget about desert. How could I forget about desert?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
didn't
because we're
notice it
skipping
at
Swamp
first,
Palace. Mm-hmm.
but you can see the question marks on their trackers, so they don't know about desert being a 5-6. Shovel, nice place for that.
Nice shuffle. Mm-hmm. All right. Frosh is in Ice Palace, so he will end up getting, I believe, his pod big from here. That's what Zelga found earlier. I believe that was the main prize of Ice Palace, in addition, of course, to the crystal. I hope
So
we're gonna get some magic.
If this turns out to be the pendant for Shady, or if this turns out to be the pendant for Zelga, either way, they're going to find out in the next 2 minutes that they are indeed in go mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe, maybe the hookshot will come into play after all. Maybe the Desert Big Key is in the back of Swamp or something. Wouldn't that be funny? It's just gonna delay my lunch. That's all I heard.
Nah,
Oh,
we're gonna get go
City
mode
side?
here in just a moment.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because you got to remember, the question mark is the two dungeons that those two are currently in, Shady and Zelga. There's the book for Zelga. It is a crystal, so no information there. Well, that is crystal number 4 for Zelga.
All right, green pendant turn in is actually just a shield. I'm sorry, Splipeel. Yeah, what's for lunch? No eggs. Although it is Easter, so maybe I should have at least one.
No, it's Easter. You should have some ham for lunch. The eggs are for breakfast.
Right, that's true. It's past breakfast time.
Yes.
Alright. Now, at least from Shady and Zelga's perspective, there's a little bit of copium that it is maybe picked correctly. We did want Eastern to be a crystal, especially if you're rooting for Shady and Zelga to take home the series.
Yeah, so
that is crystal number 4 for Zelga.
So what they're gonna find out here, coming up in about a minute and a half, is Shady's gonna get pendant number 3, or pendant number 2, but that'll give them information for go mode.
I was a little curious to see that Shady is the one, unfortunately, doing Thieves Town, because Zelga was the one who found the Thieves Town small key. So we cannot get the big chest in Thieves Town. But I'm sure there's nothing here. Nobody, it's never hurt anybody.
Yes, and as we know, it's not going to hurt them. Like I said, in about 30 seconds, it's going to be go mode for Team Sticky Priests.
Alright, sticking to the script. We're almost there.
There you go. There's the final hit, and nice single arrow. There's your pendant. That's go mode.
All right.
Now that's officially go mode.
Yeah. So suddenly, this is shaping out to be. I mean, Shady and Zelga really nailed this one and hit it out of the park. I mean, they did extremely well. Everything also, I think, fell into place for them pretty well as well.
Yeah,
this is going to be a very, very nice finish.
Yeah, and they had obviously some things go their way on this seed. But yeah, all Zelga needs to do now is clear out this pod, defeat Ganon. Shady needs to go and finish off this Misery Mire. they're going to be right close to each other.
Mhm.
And Chad was asking about the timing rules. It's the last finisher of the team, correct?
Yes. Oh, excellent point. I completely forgot. Here I was just assuming it's average time. Yes, for the one only duality, it is actually the last to finish. So the first person to finish. I mean, you know, it's good for morale. You always want to beat your teammate. That's how co-op works. But yes, it is officially the last time that is counted for the scoreboard against the opposing team.
And as Zelga gets ready to face off against Helmasar King, the winner of this pairing, which looks to be going to the Sticky Priest, will be taking on the winner of the Banana Brigade Banana Drifters. And currently that series is 1-0 in favor of the Banana Brigade. So there's crystal number 5 for Zelga. Time to dash. And being a pod, this is very convenient. You can just dash right over to the pyramid and head to Ganon.
These are the little things that can just that add up so much over the course of the game in order to save you time. But yeah, we're just going to run out of pods. This is exactly what Zelga's doing. We're going to be able to even get rid of our sword beams before Ganon. That's all calculated. And so we don't have to hear all of the sword beam sounds. And yeah, Zelga's gonna begin. I believe he should be faster than Shady. In order to finish out the fight, we have Silver's Tempered Sword.
No.
No?
No. Shady's gonna be the first to get to the goal.
He has to go.
You got Silver's for Vitreous.
Okay. All right, this will actually be a teammate race.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, though. Zelga's not even at Ganon yet, and then Shady's going to be done with Vitreous relatively shortly, so yeah.
Yeah, and Zelga's got a Silverless Ganon coming up here.
He doesn't have silvers. Here I thought he had silvers. Okay, never mind. The item's not transferable.
So Shady's going to be able to mirror out of here, get the pedestal. That will be your first finisher. Zelga will be the second one to finish, but they're going to be, like, maybe a minute behind tops.
Yeah, I don't know how.
And chat pointing it out here, it came down to that double water walk for Zelga, giving him the quake. It's, as you mentioned, the little things that just really added up in this seed. Getting that sword advantage out of Dark Cross, getting the quake off the man underneath the bridge. These things just added up, and it gave the Sticky Priest a definitive lead here.
Yeah, there were some things that just really worked out very, very well. And of course, in addition to, just in general, like Shady and Zelga's quality of runners.
Did you see what 2C just found?
What did he
okay,
find?
so Thieves Town, there we go. Zelga gets the information about that, but I already knew about that. 2C found the Desert Big Key. There's your first finisher
hilarious.
for Shady Force.
Yeah, big GG's to Shady, beating out his teammate. Zelga could not sabotage him this time around. Has different goals. But yeah, Zelga's almost done with this. But yeah, very, very impressive time for Shady and Zelga. This is one of those situations where I really think that the power of the team together is better than the sum of its parts.
Oh yeah. And Zelga's not going to be too far behind. There you go. Ganon is exploding. So it's a easy victory here for the Sticky Priest. Get your GGs in chat. Zelga and Shady, your round 1 winners. And Team Hime sees the results. They're going to go ahead and give the, yeah, we're done. Thank you for playing. Very clean fight there for Zelga. Very good race for both of these two. Just an absolute incredible run for both of these two teams. But yeah, this one, the Sticky Priest just knocked it out of the park as we welcome in Team Sticky Priests.
Yep. No, Shady, Zelga, GG's. Very, very great finish. Like, very well done.
Yeah, thank you. I think we just hit a really good route, and this went so much better than any of our practices.
Two big things wound up happening in this seed that just gave you an advantage that you could not overcome. that they could not overcome. First of all, getting that sword out of Dark Cross. You were the one who, Zelga, you were the one who did Dark Cross first, correct?
No, that was Shady.
Oh, Shady. Okay, yes. Shady,
me.
you're the one who did that. Skip Frosh ended up daving and quitting out of Zelda South, never got to Dark Cross, so they never got that Master Sword. So that was step number 1. And the other part was that Quake medallion on the man under the bridge.
Right, which blocks the thieves big. Yeah, we were just talking about that like it really helped that we both that Shady happened to duck into Turtle Rock for the thieves big, and I happened to duck into GT for the Eastern big after we each found them. That everything just kind of played out perfectly in the end with how this went.
Yeah, it just those two things combined just absolutely helped you to crush the seed. And how well did you find you two working together on the communication aspect of the seed? How happy were you about how you're communicating where things were?
I feel like we do a really good job on this. Like we don't have a document or anything we refer to. We just kind of talk it out and remind each other as we go. Like, hey, where was this? But we've been doing this for so many years now that it's almost kind of like second nature. Like we're a pretty well-oiled machine, I think.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed here was Shady, you going up to Agate Tower. You're scouting out that first. Was that completely I'm stalling until Zelga tells me what's at Zora?
Well, I think that's all we had left there, and Zora. I think it was just those 2 checks, and I knew Zora was doing the water checks at the time. So, what else am I going to do? It's going to be on one of those 2 locations. So there's no point rush following him to Zora when I can just quickly do that check. I almost considered doing it earlier, after I got the Master Sword, but I ended up not doing it, which I think is the right decision. But I was worried something was going to be there, and they might have got that earlier. If they got the Master Sword and then they decided to also do to Castle Tower, that would have been bad for us, if that was the progression.
Yeah, and that's the kind of things that kind of helped, was you being able to clear more ground by not stepping over each other's paths. As we do have the representative here from Team Hime, Skip Frosh. How you doing?
Yo, Frosh,
Hey,
GG's.
GG's.
Yo, GG's.
GG's.
Well played.
I feel like we played well, but I also feel like Lucky played, honestly.
I don't know what we are missing, honestly. How what we skipped. know.
Man Under the Bridge had Quake. That was to get you into TR, and Thieves Big was in the Compass Chest.
Oh. Okay.
And then, unfortunately, you both skipped out on a couple of swords.
Yeah.
You ended up dying in Spike. You were doing spikes, weren't you? Dying there, and that was unfortunately was one of the swords.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just kind of just was a summary of how the day went. Was you were close to the swords, just didn't get to them, and you end up dying towards one of them, which just kind of just cemented this race.
Yeah. I mean, 50 minutes would have been hard to beat anyway, so...
Did they tell you that the other sword was Dark Cross?
Oh, I found that, like, when they finished, I just checked Dark Cross, because I was curious what we left there.
Yep.
I mean, I made the decision to skip Dark Cross just to save a little bit of time, but I guess that was the wrong skip again.
Yeah, like I said, it was just very unfortunate luck, and this time around, given the luck of the Sticky Priest in this seed, it was just going to be very, very difficult to overcome. I do want to point out a comment in chat in case Shady Force can't see it. From your teammate, Dr. Mario, watching this stream with mine and Shady's family, so I'm really happy we won now.
Yeah, all the gang are back home for Easter. Not me and my family, but like all my other brothers are back home for Easter, so they must be watching. You know, shout outs to them. Hello, Shady family. I'll see them all again in a month. They'll be over visiting us in a month and a half, so that'll be cool. Including Marty. Marty will be here too.
Maybe.
When we have an in-person brother stream. living next to each
Maybe.
other.
Who knows?
I mean, at the rate you're going, you might have an in-person league race.
Could happen. Who knows? Yeah. Go up, but we're just shouting at each other on other sides of the room.
Instead of a voice call, and it's just you shouting across the walls. These big at Ace Arbos. Coming up next, you either got Banana Brigade or the Fendrana Drifters. Any thoughts heading into round 2, Zelga or Shady?
I mean,
Well-
it would be tough, but I don't know if it's. I was thinking it was always highest seed plays lowest seed, kind of like NFL playoffs. So I don't know if it's guaranteed that's our opponents.
True. Yes, in that case, I shut up now, and I don't try to act like I know what I'm talking about. Skip, any thoughts about this league season?
I mean, it went a little bit better than expected. I was like really not too hyped up because I'm very bad at all these not standard modes. I got 2 wins, which is better than last year. But I mean, 2C carried very well, and Ray did also play really well. We got a little bit unlucky, but yeah, I mean, I think it was still a good season, and we made playoffs. That's pretty nice.
I do want to clarify, by the way, it is correct. I just checked the league document here. Somebody in the mod channel can scream at me, read rules. It is the highest remaining seed versus the lowest remaining seed, so I guess we'll see how the rest of the first round plays out before we declare who the next opponent is for the Sticky Priest, but you did a great job today.
Yeah, thank you very much. And no matter who it is, we know it's going to be a tough opponent, so definitely looking forward to it. I do want to say, again, huge GGs to Team Hime. This was by no means a series that I thought we would win 2-0, so I'm very happy to be able to do so.
I was hoping you wouldn't win 2-0, but
hoping
you
to
were
force the
playing
game.
really well in both races, so I don't think it's shameful to lose against you.
I want to point out something else that we can see on our screens right now. You both had 97 for your collection rate.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, equal
Well, you
love
should
for
really
once.
pad up your heart pieces there.
For once, Zelga hasn't done like 30 extra checks than me.
Yeah, I was thinking that we didn't have Marty to carry us, so it was actually just 97 equal.
Yeah. Marty would have done like 112 and finished 5 minutes earlier. So.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap things up here. Wish you all a happy Easter if you celebrate it, and congratulations once again to our winners of this race, the Sticky Priests. Good luck in round 2.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us on the restream. Thanks for commentary and our own trackers, I guess.
And
Yeah, well
definitely,
done.
definitely a congratulations to Tim Hime for making the playoffs, and GG's on your league season, and best wishes in the upcoming seasons.
Thanks. Good luck in the next rounds, guys.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Thanks for stopping by, Kermit.
Yeah, always.
Alrighty. Mouse, you're going to be busy coming up here in about an hour and a half because you have another race that you're calling.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's the other race for today. Relkin and Will versus Magno and Thelaine. Also a game 2. Magno and Thelaine are up 1 game thanks to their game yesterday for the victory. So Magno and Thelaine are looking to close things out versus Relkin and Will are hoping to force a game 3. It'll be at 3:30 on an hour and a half on this channel. And then but definitely looking forward to the Sticky Priests in round 2. I guess that'll be probably in like a week and a half or something like that, or maybe a week when we will end up finding out when everybody else is finished up. But yeah, thank you so much, Rick, for joining me on this Easter Sunday. It was a blast.
I mean, it makes sense for the bunny to be hopping
Yes,
around here on a link
yes.
to the past randomizer call today. So thank you very much for asking me to do that. Enjoy your time together with Jesse coming up at 3:30.
Yeah, should be great. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, but yeah, thank you all so much. Yeah, go and take a lunch break, maybe a late lunch break, refreshments, and then come back and we'll catch you more for some more rando. We'll see
Or
y'all
dinner
then.
if you're over in Central
Or dinner.
European.
Yes, or dinner.
If you want to get more information, including standings, you can go to ALTTPRleague.com. You can find out more about the teams that are still playing, the schedule, and more. And until next time, happy leaguing.